was good when he just goes handsome Squidward in the theatrical version and doesn't do the full cursed Wolverine.
Jesus. The only thing that could have topped that is if he actually wore a spider mask. He could have been Spider-Man.
Have you ever seen the blooper from the first X-Men movie where Spider-Man just randomly runs onto the set?
Yes. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah. That is a funny scene.
I mean, it looks like fucking Nicholas
Victor, take one, A mark.
Spider-Man.
B mark. Wait. I am completely in the wrong movie. I am so sorry.
They should definitely have stuck that at the end of Deadpool and Wolverine with all of the
I
other
was
highlights
just
from
about
the
to say
film.
that. I was gonna fucking sing that out. Then we're just fucking looking at deleted material at this point. That's the thing. Now I'm gonna commit to the bit. Hang on. Oh, God, I mean, it's like less warm than it has been, but fuck me, I can't be asked. This is so like summer. It's so hot in here, like Johnny Storm. Why, thank you. So are you.
Johnny Storm hitting on randomly internet celebrity Maria Menounos, who gets to be a film star in this film. Why not?
And then he fucks her in a puddle.
Oh, well, can you join me? Yeah, I'm not going to question why you were on fire. Let's just have sex.
Yes, you do. You very much do.
Hang on, let me just do. There's a fucking advert. Hang on.
There's always ads.
This is gonna be the worst payoff.
I don't know, man. We've watched 2 seasons of Russell T Davies' Doctor Who. Ba-dum-bum!
Take one, A mark.
B mark. Wait. I am completely in the wrong movie. I am so sorry.
George tries to edit on the fly.
See, like that could have been in the film, and you just don't know it. Like that editing then was so good.
Flawless victory.
Hello everyone, welcome back to No Bubble Podcast. Because we've just been looking at deleted footage, so we don't know how much we're going to get through the copyright strike. So let's enjoy that one. Back for Fantastic Four Part 2, 2005, the turn of the century-ish.
Ooh.
You're only half a decade out.
Yeah, it's close enough though. You round it down.
It's not like 5 weeks. Yeah, it's 5 whole years.
It's like the that thing that Han Solo does, the Kessler Run. You just round it down. It is if you round it down. That's a great movie. Why wasn't fucking Alden Ehrenreich in this? Why didn't he transform into Alden Ehrenreich Han Solo?
He's either in Ironheart or somebody who looks very much like him is, because he's in all the trailers. And I'm not sure if it's actually him or not, and I can't be bothered to work it out. I'll tell you tomorrow when it actually debuts.
I wish that they would just give him like Han Solo, Harrison Ford roles. So then he has to play Indiana Jones in like a prequel series, like he's the Indiana Jones. Or like he does like the president from fucking Get Off My Airplane, Air Force One. Like he just does all the fucking Harrison Ford roles once he dies or until he dies. Maybe that's how he dies. He kills Harrison Ford. Now there's something to think about.
Jesus.
Alden. I can't.
Ironheart.
He is.
He is Ironheart.
I completely
35.
Oh, sorry. I completely forgot that I had a brilliant way to open this episode, and I almost forgot to do it. May I?
Of course you can.
Okay, hang on.
Copyright for.
Yeah, I'm not. You'll hear the second half of that next week. I'm not going to play it all at once because it will not get through copyright.
But
we can learn
yes,
all about the Fantastic Four's powers next time.
yes, you can. So
YouTube strike number 4.
Mike
Sorry.
is once again here for the Fantastic Four-parter, where we look at all 4 Fantastic Four movies that exist at this point.
I think you'll find it's a 5-parter because we're actually going to review the new one as well.
Well, I'm only here for 4 of them. So I don't exist after Fan Four.
You have the perfect out, dude. One of them's invisible. We'll just claim you're still here.
That was last week's movie.
Well, I don't want to
Wait, was
be
that last week?
Rooney or Kate Mara, whichever one it is with the bad wig. I want to be Jessica Alba, and let's
Fine.
stick fucking contact lenses in my eyes and dye my hair to make me look less Latino, because that's not problematic.
To be fair, she does wear a wig in the second one. She only dyes her hair for this one. In the second one, she's like, fuck that. I'm not doing that again.
I've always wondered why her eyes look weird. It's because she doesn't fucking look like that, and it's just
Yeah.
whitewashing.
Should we address the fact that Sue and her brother are clearly different ethnicities?
Hey, it's whatever her mum was into, or whatever was in her mum, really. But
Whoa.
I mean, at least they explain it in the Josh Trank version. One of very few things it actually does do right, but
I mean, I could moan about Fan Four Stick, but then we'd be here until we actually record the Fan Four Stick episode. But 2005 saw the release of this amazing film. What?
Sorry, a peaceful time, a much better time.
Oh, so good. Like, there wasn't. There was a questionable man in the White House, but he wasn't really in charge. It was Dick Cheney. There was maybe less wrong with the world, but sort of still the. I don't know. David Tennant was the Doctor, but then that could be any year.
So David Tennant was the Doctor. We were about to get pulled into a war in the Middle East under false pretenses. Nobody liked the president. Hang on.
And Lilo and Stitch was in cinemas.
Exactly. It was about 3 years too late for that, but yeah, never mind.
What else? What else was more similarities? What else was happening? Fucking probably something stupid.
Billy Piper was in Doctor.
Billy Piper was in Doctor Who. Why do you want to be in Doctor Who? Because I want to. Because I want to.
We were waiting for a theatrical Fantastic Four movie.
We were.
Actually, hang on. When we were almost at the release of a Superman movie, if Superman Returns had been released a year earlier.
It's very true.
Like Superman delayed, am I right?
I remember the first interaction I had with Superman Returns. I know that's not the point of this video, but welcome everyone. Is I was in a Burger King in Spain, and that was that was the Happy Meal equivalent toys was Superman Returns stuff. I got a sweatband, and I think it was who was it? Was it? I think it was like a plastic piece of kryptonite, because putting a real one in would have been well dangerous. But I'm glad it wasn't anything plastic and to do with Kevin Spacey. That's all. That's all I can say on that.
I mean, that's a problematic movie in so many ways. But yeah, let's not go there. I love how they've re-released, like they did the Superman box set on DVD and then again on Blu-ray, and then when they released it in 4K, they've just removed Superman Returns and never mentioned it. It's like, shh. It's got 5 films because it's the 4 Christopher Reeve and the Richard Donner cut, and that's all of the Superman legacy pre-Man of Steel. Shh. Right.
I don't mind Superman Returns. We should have done like Superman month, where we could have done like fucking Quest for Peace.
Well, we could have.
If the schedule wasn't both movies in the same month, then yes, that would be the master.
In fairness, if you go over to the Silver Screen podcast, my cinema classic for this month is actually Superman 1978. So,
there you go.
Yeah, nice.
Get someone who knows what they're doing to talk about it, not us. Not us. Well, me. Connor knows what he's talking about. He's just, I think, worn down by my fucking shit. But anyway, Michael, thank you for talking about the best.
Problem. Oh, by the way, since I'm here, if you do want me to jump in very quickly with reviews of Elio and 28 Years Later, I did see both of those yesterday as well.
How were they? For context, because this will come out probably like weeks after they've been out.
Oh, yeah. Good. I really liked Elio, and I'm gutted because it's got like the Pixar's lowest ever opening, like worse than pandemic kind of bombing, and I just think it's been marketed terribly. It's actually a really I mean, it's not A tier, Inside Out, Up, gonna make you cry for hours kind of Pixar, but it's a really good movie, and it's 100 times better than Lightyear, which is probably the closest comparison. This is what Lightyear should probably have been, like a really cool, fun space adventure with a bit of a message underlying it, some actual good humor and jokes, and not just whatever that mess was that we got. So yeah, and then 28 years later, it's just a really weird movie. I think I said in my review, I can tell you without any kind of shame, it's really well made and very, very good. It's just really not for me because it is an odd movie. It takes wild swings. It's very depressing and dour and kind of yeah.
No, I mean I saw it too. I again not really having prior knowledge of that franchise. Again, totally irrelevant tangent, but. Yeah, 28 years. I had a lot of fun with. Again, it's a weird movie. Whether or not it's for some people, that's obviously just down to you, the viewer. But I went in just expecting more generic zombie movie. All right, zombie's a bit of a loose word because they're just crazy infected people. But it's in a world ravaged 28 years on after the global epidemic. Well, it ain't global. It's only the UK that's really affected by the epidemic. There's a line in the first act that sort of comments on the rest of the world, but who cares about the rest of the world? The UK's fucked. Then that's the movie.
Yeah, that's real life.
You've got to love how Danny Boyle and Alex Garland do, since they weren't involved in the second movie, just literally undo it in one line of text at the start of the movie. Like, the virus ravaged Great Britain. It was beaten back from France and Europe. Shh. All right. That second movie was a waste of fucking time then.
But if he didn't direct it, he doesn't care about it.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Weren't they executive producers though? I felt that they were both still involved.
But if you start these franchises, you're always going to get a paycheck for stuff. That doesn't mean you actually do anything. Somebody was. Oh, that was it. It was Scarlett Johansson was in the news for that because she's listed as an exec producer on Thunderbolts, and she said she wanted her name removed. It's because she's a producer on like Black Widow and stuff. And she's like, I literally didn't do anything, and I asked them to remove my name, and they just can't because legally you've got to do it and you've got to pay you for it. And I'm like, you literally did nothing. But all right, whatever.
There's worse things to be paid for, like making two Fantastic Four movies that were generally, in my opinion, quite okay.
That were generally not as bad as the other two.
If you weigh it up right now, before Michael, before your brain has seen Fantastic Four First Steps, like which movie is your outright favorite? Of the four?
Oh, I mean, I say that once again. I've got notes and I've got a conclusion and a score for this one. And I say in my conclusion that this is as good as it gets. I mean, it's faint praise, but I can safely say this is the best of the existing ones.
That is it. That's praise indeed, whether it be reluctant. Now, we have made the suggestion that these films get less comic book accurate as they go on. Because it was quite comic accurate, I guess, last week.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that was. God. There's no diamond in this, which really got to me. I really wanted MacGuffin.
There is shields that are as hard as diamond, which mutate Doctor Doom's skin into living metal, which has nothing to do with any fucking iteration of the character whatsoever.
Do you reckon that's a reference to the 94 film?
Do you know what? If it is, then I'm going to give it an extra point for that because I hate that. That is my biggest bugbear with this film is that Doctor Doom has no resemblance to any kind of character with that name from the comics. He's everybody except Doctor Doom. He's got the Sue Storm love affair of Namor. He's got the you're going to fire me, I'll kill you all revenge plot ripped straight from Green Goblin and Spider-Man. And yeah, he just the mutating into the metal dude, whatever. It's got nothing to do with Doctor Doom.
He is the visual metaphor 20 years in the past to Iron Man. I literally looked at him and I was like, oh my God, he's literally Iron Man with a green cloak.
Yeah. The comic books do that all the time because they kind of like Doom is as much an Iron Man enemy in some ways as Fantastic Four because they kind of cottoned onto that. Like, oh, hang on, he's got a suit of armor that he wears, albeit with a cloak over the top. And he, and it will be interesting because he's like magic and Iron Man's all about technology, but Doctor Doom's a suit of armor more like an old-fashioned knight and uses magic against them. And yeah, you wouldn't know any of that from these films because he doesn't he doesn't bear any resemblance to that character. But yeah, trust me, he is a much better character in the comics.
Do you know who he does bear resemblance to, especially in this film? For the longest time when I was younger, I was convinced that Julian McMahon was John Barrowman.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Don't make me get out my transformed into metal Willy.
Oh my god, can you imagine the behind the scenes story of this film? Yeah, so then I just wiped my cock on Owen Griffin's head, and he said it was fine, so I'm not going to say sorry.
I stuck it through the eye hole of the mask.
While I was wearing it.
Yeah. On the subject of Julian McMahon, I have to say I don't blame him for any of this. He's in a far better Marvel project, Runaways, and he's actually really good in that.
Is he actually in Runaways? You love Runaways.
He is. He's one
You're
of the main.
You're the
I
one
wouldn't
of
say
two
villains.
Runaways guys.
I friggin' love Runaways. I think it's 3 seasons, pretty short, fantastic show. Not that much like the comics, but just a really, really good sort of Marvel. It's technically in the MCU, so
When are they going to get referenced? Because we've got Agents of Shield. Apparently,
well, they did cross over with Cloak and Dagger, and then Cloak and Dagger crossed over with Luke Cage by mentioning Misty Knight. And Luke Cage obviously is in Daredevil, who's now definitely officially part of the MCU. So if you follow the whole 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, yeah.
It's all one. It's all one universe. When's the Inhumans coming back? That's what I want to know.
Oh, that's never happening. I was shocked that Anson Mount turned up in Doctor Strange too, to be honest.
Hey, now that Star Trek
That was a moment.
that frees him up for small cameos.
It's not ending for another 2 and a bit seasons.
Yeah, but he's filmed it all right.
No, there's only they filmed season 3, which is about to start airing soon. They're going to start filming season 4, and then they've been given a final 6-episode season 5. So, no, still quite a bit to do.
Oh, that's a shame. But
one way or
It's
another,
not
it
good
would
show.
be fantastic.
Yeah, we're talking about everything except this movie.
we are. Because, all right, let me get you back on track because Julian McMahon's dad is former Australian Prime Minister Sir William McMahon. So
Yes, I did see that.
yeah, because that's the thing that's stuck in my head for God knows how long, and I don't know why. But this man's face is just fucking embroidered into my brain, and I'm not even Australian. What the fuck? I mean, he died in '88. I feel like, would he have liked this film? Probably not.
Yes.
I did.
Why are we attacking this film?
I did read the most hilarious bit of asinine trivia on IMDb, which was the idea to patch up Doctor Doom's scars with stitches came from Julian McMahon using his experience on the TV show Nip Tuck. I was like, oh yeah, because I'm sure they could never have thought of that otherwise.
Guys, I was on a show called Nip Tuck. I do sound a bit like the Kylie Minogue impression, but let's draw over.
They've got this thing called stitches, right? I hadn't heard of them before the show, but what they do is they close up the wounds and help it look a bit more normal.
Yeah. What if I had a metal penis? Oh no, sorry, that's my cousin John. He's from sometimes from Scotland, sometimes from America. Depends what fucking room he's in.
Oh
God. No, we should actually talk about this movie because for the longest time, I preferred Silver Surfer over this one.
No,
but I really fucking love the campy. This is very like, it's like the Raimi trilogy is to 60s Spider-Man, which I did mention last week. But this is very like fun, campy, all about the Fantastic Four. There's nothing depressing in this film. It's just like there's some stupid shit, but I love the main cast. I love pre-Captain America Chris Evans, who even though he said he hated superhero movies, then did like so many superhero movies.
So many.
Tied him in. I like this. Even gets a payoff in like Deadpool and Wolverine, and hopefully, like I won't lie to you. I think Ewan Grufford should have been the Reed Richards in Doctor Strange instead of just fan wanky service of. Well, everyone's wanted John Krasinski to be Mr. Fantastic, so here you go. It's never going to get followed up. Bye.
I like the idea of Krasinski, but only if they were going to follow through and actually have him be like, oh, that would be a cool way of announcing the casting, which is what I thought it was. But then now it's kind of a shame. Anyway.
Yeah, because it's like everyone else is paid by their MCU counterpart.
Exactly, yeah.
Not this guy.
Yeah, Ewan would have been great because it'd have been like, oh my god, retroness before this got stale. But hey ho.
I can actually buy into him leading the then Illuminati version of. Yeah, I would have bought him being.
This version of Reed's fucking strange, man.
Yeah, he's not quite as intelligent as the character is meant to be portrayed to be. To be honest, is he?
He's a bit bitchy, and he's a bit sort of like a bad loser. I mean, he only gets his fucking grey like sideburn swooshes by accident from the sun.
I kind of love whenever they do something really cheesy like that. I kind of love it. It's the same as they did with Rogue in the first X-Men, where they're like, "Oh, you developed your white streak because of Magneto using the machine." It's like,
Yeah.
no, but okay,
But
whatever.
you don't have a southern accent or like a good southern accent and fly. You don't copy
Yeah.
Miss Marvel's powers. You don't really do anything interesting, do you, Rogue? You just get really sad about not having a boyfriend.
Yeah.
God,
Although
I can't
actually, this is apropos of nothing, but I just found it hilarious that I saw a meme the other day based on X-Men 3 where it was just the scene of Rogue going, "Are you sure you can cure us? Good at work?" And then Storm going, "There's nothing to cure. There's nothing wrong with us." And it's like, "Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with us. Miss kills everyone he touches," says the god of the weather. Like, just because you won the fucking superpower lottery.
Yeah, that is so true. Like, oh, there's nothing wrong. We're fine. We're normal. But then it's a bit like, Michael Chiklis wearing all that rock stuff. Like, how comes he can't turn it on like we can? Oh, that's what we're here to find out. I mean, all that Ewan Grufford Reed Richards does, and he does it well. He wears a lab coat and he writes on a chalkboard. I think, other than that, is he very sciencey?
No, I mean I've made the point several times, and I've made it in my notes again here that I don't like all of the cast like you. I think Chris Evans and Michael Chiklis are fantastically cast, but I think Ewan Griffith and Jessica Alba are terribly miscast. So it's got like 50% fantastic casting, and the other just doesn't work for me.
50% fantastic.
Yeah,
50% fantastic. 50% not quite as frightful as last week, but 4.
they're still miscast. I mean, they get better. At least the way they write Mr. Fantastic in the sequel is a bit closer, like being obsessed with his work and super intelligent, but the expensive family and stuff. And all right, fair enough. But I don't know. I never really bought Jessica Alba's gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. She's not. I'm never going to complain about watching her in movies, but she just doesn't come across as Sue Storm for me, and not just because of the obvious like ethnicity thing. Yeah. Anyway,
is she just the eye candy for the let's get the boys in the seats kind of thing?
I mean, not to sound all woke, but I really hate those scenes in this film where it is such a blatant, like, ooh, let's get her in her underwear. How is turning invisible going to help you push through a crowd? You're not going to phase through them.
How the fuck do Reed and Johnny get to the other side of that bridge?
Exactly. They're going to say, oh, yeah, well done. You got a suit. You didn't do anything. You just literally wanted to get her in her underwear.
You know what I don't like? When Reed Richards fingers a door. That really, really disturbs.
I kind of love that. It reminds me of an old X-Files classic episode from the 90s that I used to like. You'll know if you've seen it. If you haven't, it's tough. Have you guys seen a lot of classic X-Files?
Not in a very long time.
The first season, that's as far as I've got. But I liked it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. There's a character in the first and second season called Eugene Toombs who basically is Mr. Fantastic. Like, he can stretch his body out and he can get into any locked room and everything just by squeezing through the littlest of things. But for some reason, to get this power, he has to eat like 5 human livers every 20 years or something stupid like that.
What?
Yeah. I don't know. The X-Files was weird in its early years. So yeah, there's a lot of scenes that are very like this, where it's just kind of like, oh, no one can get in here, don't worry. And then there's like an air vent or something that you would never get to, and he just like squeezes his arm through it, and his whole self goes through, like flattened. And yeah. Bear in mind, this is in like 1995 effects, so it doesn't look great either.
To be fair, like this film, it fits with your Spider-Man, your Ang Lee Hulk, your Ghost Rider-ish, like of this time. Like it is such a fucking nostalgic feel that all these superhero films are kind of like the same kind of feeling. Obviously, there's some difference in quality, but when you watch, it's instantly like, yeah, this is what it was before. It was everything's got to be linked. Everything's got to lead somewhere. Everyone's going to cross over, even though that the likelihood is that all of these films I've just mentioned will be referenced in some capacity in the upcoming Avengers films, which is both great for us nostalgic fans and like, oh, just fucking leave me alone with nostalgia. Just
we'll see. I think I can see them leaning away from it because too many people just don't want that nostalgia anymore. but they're kind of in a no-win situation with that because you can guarantee if they don't do it, everyone will whinge about how Secret Wars wasn't good because we were expecting multiple cameos and it didn't happen. And, so
There is no
anyway.
pleasing everybody. There is no pleasing every single soul.
And they've already done it though. I mean, Doctor Strange and Deadpool and Wolverine have already been the kind of look at all these past characters cameo fests. So and Spider-Man No Way Home for that matter. So I'm like, where do you go from there after that point?
Well, that's the whole point of
Anyway.
Battleworld. Like, I want to see Miles Teller be squashed.
Well, me too, but that's got nothing to do with movies. Oh,
That's just a kink you have. The basic story: they go up into space, big space, fucking.
I just played you the story in music form, George.
I know you did, but we can't sing it again. It's copyright.
On an outer space adventure, they got hit by cosmic rays, and the four were chased forever in the most fantastic ways. That's
Okay.
all you need to know.
I do love the cringy sort of lines that they get of like, "Ew, Reed, always stretching yourself too far, but still doing the heavy lifting, man.
Yeah.
I just want to be seen." And then what does Johnny have? I just want to have more sex in puddles on the hill.
He's always been a hothead.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's hothead. Yeah,
it's not as bad as Silver Surfer. It's like, what does it take to date the Human Torch? Fireproof lingerie and something else completely cringy for 2007.
I haven't watched that one. I'll rewatch that one yet. I'll
Yeah.
get to it later. I don't want to
I'll
overload
find
my
out.
brain with too much at once.
I'll find that out next week.
And I did have 2 movies to watch for this one because I had to do the research. If you want me to, I can get into the differences in the extended edition. I've actually made a little list.
You know what, Michael? Hit us with the differences because Michael, judging by his picture, you might not know that Wolverine was kind of going to be in this film for some reason.
He was the unofficial member of the Fantastic Five that never made it to screen.
Baghead.
Oh, I love that. Fantastic Bagman. Anyway, that's a comic book reference and a half. So yeah, well, first of all, there's several different scenes. Some that are completely new, some that are just alternate versions of existing scenes. And the film itself runs about 15 to 20 minutes longer if you have the extended version, but you can only get that on DVD. It's not been released on Blu-ray. First of all, there's a scene where Reed and Sue are in a storage room of the Baxter Building, and on one of the shelves there's a robot that is supposed to be Herbie from the '78 cartoon series. You very much have to squint for that one. The biggest change is the scene where Jessica Alba and Ewan Griffith's characters are looking at the Statue of Liberty. Similar lines are used in the DVD version, but the version on DVD replaces that with the pair in the planetarium where they discuss their feelings for each other. Instead of Reed forming a square jaw as he does in the theatrical version, he makes his skin look like that of Wolverine from the X-Men comics. And it is as cursed as you see in my image here on my profile picture. So yeah, then Griffith breaks the fourth wall and looks directly at the camera as he does this. This scene was created in hopes to create a shared cinematic universe between this film, Fox's X-Men, and Sony's Spider-Man. Wolverine was also set to appear, which I didn't know, in a cameo in Spider-Man 2. So
yeah, I remember that.
Absolutely weird. And the DVD expands on the Thing's relationship with Alicia Masters, which I'm glad of because freaking Kerry Washington, fantastic actress, has nothing to do in the theatrical version of this film, barely in it. And there's more about Dr. Doom scheming to break up the group, and the Human Torch's womanizing backfires on him a bit more. That's really all you need to know, I think, about the extended version.
Are they both the same? Does the extended version is it better? Because the extended Daredevil film is much better than the original version of Daredevil, but they're still sort of the same level movie. Yeah,
I mean, it depends what you. For nostalgia value, there's nothing necessarily wrong in terms of I'd say that they're more or less on a par. It's just that it's a curio to have the extended version, to have things like the Wolverine stuff, and then like I said, it does improve in some areas, like giving Alicia Masters something to do. But the other differences are kind of it's neither here nor there really. I get it, but it's not on the level of, like you said, the Daredevil director's cut where they add the full half hour, the Coolio subplot. It really explains why. The word's out on the Kingpin, which is just a quick line in the theatrical version that they never really explain, whereas the director's cut fully gets into all that and does the actual legal plot, which really improves that movie. But yeah, this I wouldn't say improves or hurts it. It's just kind of it's just a bit different.
If you want a slightly different flavor, watch CGI plastic Hugh Jackman face.
Exactly, yeah.
Where do you stand, Michael, on the Thing? Practical or CGI?
Well, as long as somebody's got a hand and you can disguise their arm, you can use the little fingers to. Oh, the other thing you mean? Sorry.
Yes.
One for the Adams family heads there. No, I don't know. I think practical would probably always be what I would favor. Not in every instance, but I think with the Thing, yeah, I've never really hated any of them. Even as we mentioned last week, I think it was almost there if it had just done more of an effort to disguise the obvious dude in a mask and you could see the eyes behind it and stuff. And I think they do a fantastic job with this one. I didn't envy Chiklis being in it all day, but I mean, for what is essentially just a big suit, it doesn't look like it's, you'd be forgiven for thinking it might be CGI or something. It doesn't look fake, if that makes sense, even though it obviously is. Although I did read, again, as I was looking at the behind the scenes, I read that the way they kept Chiklis cool was that one of the rocks at the top is removable and they would just lift it off and spray water onto his bald head to keep him cold. And as soon as I saw that trivia, I spotted which rock that was because it stands out horribly when you know that, because there's one that's just a different shade on the top of the thing's head. And I was like, that's the removable one. I can just tell now. But yeah, other than that, I think really fantastic work, honestly. No pun intended. I'm going to end up saying that a lot probably, but yeah.
So obviously, like, some bits are borrowed from other elements, like you mentioned that Von Doom's relationship with Sue is essentially a bastardized version of what happens between Sue Storm and Namor, the Submariner.
Yeah.
Are you surprised they kind of ripped a story element from a character that they weren't going to do for at least another like nearly 20 years?
Not really. I mean, I get the impetus as the writers to be like, we need to combine Doctor Doom to them in some way, because that was what everybody was doing. It was the same as like, oh, Spider-Man has to face enemies that are specifically linked to his personal Peter Parker journey and stuff. And it's like, all right, if it works and you write it well, but in this instance, I don't think it was necessary or did that good of a job. I was pleased to hear that at least they did reference that him and Reed had been at school together. But there's so much about the character that's like the whole Latvian thing. It's referenced twice. Like once when somebody goes, oh, go home to Latveria. And once when you see the ship at the end, it's meant to be a big reveal of like, oh, he's going to Latveria. But he doesn't speak with an accent or anything. He's like an American tech billionaire type. Although so is Elon Musk, and he's not freaking American. So I suppose, there's precedent for that in the real world. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just weird writing. And I'll say it also makes Sue Storm look like a real bitch, because she's like, to Reed, she's like, oh, there has never been anything between me and Victor. Then you learn she's been in a relationship with him for 2 years. I think she's been stringing this poor bastard along for 2 years. Jeez, woman.
Yeah, because obviously, like, I think it was Iron Man 2 Whiplash is a combination of Crimson Dynamo and Whiplash, isn't he? So like, there's a lot of the amalgamating characters and storylines together. So maybe they were like, well, this Namor thing's never going to take off. We're never going to see him in a film.
I don't think they had the rights. He was with Universal, so technically they couldn't. But they do something very similar in, which I'll get into next week with Rise of the Silver Surfer. There's a character they didn't have the rights to that they kind of tried to do a version of in a roundabout kind of way. But yeah, more on that next week.
Yes. Apart from, the dodgy writing in places, but I think this is like, as a origin film, which every superhero had to have in the early 2000s because it was the law. I think it does a good enough job of setting you up with, like, getting the basics of the comic out there, and and setting the sort of, a lot of these films I think have to set the stage for the sequel, even though they're not guaranteed to get one. Like, I think Raimi done a lot better job with Spider-Man to then like hit it out of the park with Spider-Man 2. I think this builds on it quite well with Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. I mean, it's still, apart from Cloud Galactus, which is, something we will definitely get into. It kind of, as a trajectory, it feels like it's on the up. Ghost Rider, same sort of thing.
I liked the first Ghost Rider movie. I'm pretty much in the minority, but yeah.
Oh, I like them both, but I think fucking Spirit of Vengeance is just flat out like, oh, this is just great, and there's no CGI Nick Cage abs, so that's another win.
I think though that's I really do think it depends how close you are to these characters, because I've never been that bothered about Ghost Rider in the comics, so I'm not going to be like, there's some changes I don't like, it's not faithful. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm familiar enough with it to know that you've done the basics of the story, all right. which I think a lot of people were kind of like with this film. Whereas I'm like diehard Fantastic Four comics, cartoons, everything. So every little thing that was different, I was like, this isn't the Fantastic Four that I know. How dare you?
It sticks out to you like a red flag. It sticks out to you like a fucking ball in a china shop. And
Exactly.
Like, you could not switch it off from it.
Exactly.
You know, it's
I mean, that's very much a me problem. I do remember this was the first film that we took my little brother to see in the cinema, and he absolutely freaking loved it. He was only about 6 or 7 at the time, thought it was brilliant, and it was his introduction of the Fantastic Four. And I have to say, in that regard, it worked. It got him interested enough to, I want to read some of these comics. I'll watch some of these cartoons, and I'm interested in what these characters, who they are, and what their dynamic is and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, praise for it for that, I suppose.
Has there been a version of Fantastic Four you like on the screen yet?
No, there's never been a version that matches the comics authentically in any real way. I mean, these come close in a lot of ways that I've kind of, like I said, I've made notes of, and I can tell you the stuff that I like that they do get right. And as I said, the casting of Evans and Chiklis is definitely one of them, and the interplay between them in both of these movies is spot on from the comics as well. The way they kind of like. They're kind of like brothers that tease each other, but there's love at the bottom of it that you can understand, kind of thing. And they play that dynamic brilliantly. Plus, they play the characters individually really well, and they get some great scenes. Like whether it's just Johnny being a bit of a dick, because that's literally what Johnny Storm is, or the Thing being a tad tragic, but ultimately the most kind of emotionally pure of them all. And that scene when he tries to pick up the engagement ring and can't is heartbreaking.
Oh god, that
it still crushes me. Yeah, it's terrible.
She went all the way to the bridge just to put that on the floor in front of him.
Yeah, but then she got killed in The Walking Dead, so she deserved it all.
Yeah.
And then but I wanted to see her get killed by that fucking fire truck. I like the Dalmatian fucking ducks.
Oh, the Dalmatian doing a little freaking covering it down. That is my least favorite part of the movie. That is Tim Story, the director of Friday, trying to make a fucking comedy film out of this. Just no.
But it is a comedy. It's it's fun. It's campy. It's
you can be funny without going that far in the bits that do
it's
work.
Funny
it's when you have things like that play into it, but without being absolutely ludicrous. Like the idea of the Thing, like, oh, Mr. Bird, you're not afraid of me, and then the bird just craps on it. Oh well, this day couldn't get any worse. That's funny. What's not funny is, oh look, the dog's covering its eyes. Oh no, that's cartoonishly stupid.
But that's what it is. It's like a glorified cartoon. It's not hurting anyone. And I think, does this sort of fall down the X-Men problem of like, oh, Magneto's got to be the villain of every film? Like, especially in the earlier stuff. It's like, oh, we've got to do Doom all the time. Like, does it fall into that trap? Because it kind of makes him as a villain. Like, he's meant to be one of the best villains in all of the Marvel universe. And he keeps getting defeated in stupid ways in these films.
I'm going to let Connor handle this one because I feel like I've talked a bit much. So I'm curious what you think about... do you think Dr. Doom's an issue in the movie, or did you like him?
I think his interpretation of Dr. Doom, even though, again, knowing what 20 years does to not only our lives, but also to the media culture aside, he's Iron Man. I can't not switch off that filter, which is a bit annoying. It is annoying that that's happened. And even at the end, where they, like, again, not to just jump ahead at the end, where they literally freeze him, I always remember him with the cape. I just thought he had the cape on the whole time. So when he was literally like the almost Greek-like statue of Metal Adonis frozen without his cape, I was like, oh, he's just skinny Iron Man. he's all talk about the cape. No, but yeah, to sort of back up your two statements. Yeah, Dr. Doom hasn't been, again, sort of backing Mike's point as well about, the whole Fantastic Four not being sort of done exactly on screen. Dr. Doom hasn't really been done justice at all, hasn't he? And I get the aspect of, again, the multiverse and, again, current conversations aside, bringing a past actor back into this conversation still don't scream that Dr. Doom is still going to be done right. But for all we know, a year or two, in our words. But again, you are the main expert out of the three of us, Mike. I'm slowly, gradually going to get to your knowledge at some point, long after these reviews. No, Dr. Doom, he isn't the character he should be. He isn't the threat he should be in any of the movies.
I see. I felt like this when Downey Jr. was cast because I was like, no, because I just want an authentic Doctor Doom, and my biggest fear is that they're just going to do superior Iron Man.
Exactly,
instead,
but not cool.
and it's
Just,
no Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Anyway,
non-variant Doctor Doom again. Yeah, that's going to be the thing. Yeah, again, Julian McMahon's great, and again, he should be in more things, in my honest opinion. But
watch Runaways.
Well, he ran away. It's great. The internet's carrying.
you Wikipedia searching Julian McMahon.
Is he like the fifth or sixth cousin? Is there somewhere to prove that he is related?
No, I know he is. I did see that on the trivia this time, which I hadn't been aware of. But he definitely is related to a former Australian Prime Minister. Believe it or not.
That's his dad. You have to legally say that every time you talk about Julian McMahon.
McMahon, Barrowman.
Yeah, maybe. It doesn't say. It does. It's non-confirmed that they are related.
It does on IMDb trivia, for what it's worth. I think that's where I
just miss Ewan Grufford as well. Like he is my fantastic Mr. Fantastic.
He is your fantastic Mr. Silver Fox.
Yeah, Mr. Grey Temples before old Benedict Cumberbatch came along. I didn't even know who he was back in 2005. But yeah.
I feel like Benedict Cumberbatch only started existing in 2010. Like he just spawned in like an egg.
He just spawned in.
Like hatched.
Yeah. If you watch the Doctor Who story, I believe it's The Mask of Mandragora, he is technically in his mum's belly during that. So he is on screen before he was even born.
Oh my god. No wonder he's as strange as he is.
He met Tom Baker, for Christ's sake, without even knowing it.
Hello, Benedict.
Hello there, young baby to be. Hello.
I think you should be playing Sherlock Holmes. Carry sauce all over your anus.
Now be quiet while I hit on your mom a little bit.
Yeah. Don't tell Lala. Fucking hell. Jesus. Yeah, is it bad that I don't think I noticed that Alicia was blind?
Yeah, well, again, they don't cast a blind actress, do they? So yeah.
As a child, I was kind of like, that's a bit strange. But then as I got older, I was like, oh my god, I just didn't realize that the character's supposed to be blind.
Registered that she was blind. Yeah. Without admitting it,
it's less obvious in the way they edit around it because it looks like she's looking at a lot of people when she's talking to them.
I think that's on you because it's pretty explicit when she's at the bar where Ben's like, if you could see what I look like. And she goes, oh, can I see you the way I do or whatever? And then does the Lionel Richie, I'm going to touch your face and that'll be how I see you kind of thing. So.
Oh my God, that should have been a line. Can I do that Lionel Richie thing to your face?
I'm going to make a sculpture. It's how I see you. Hello, is it the thing you're looking for?
Hello, it's Grim you're looking for. Oh my God, I want Lionel Richie in these films now. I want
not in first
Herbie or Franklin Richards. Either one.
We'll have to shoehorn him in the most stupid way, like have a scene where Reed stretches so much that he's like walking upside down, and then have Richie bust in and go, "Reed, you're walking on the ceiling."
I got literal tears in my eyes. Oh my God! Can I do the Lionel Richie thing to your face? That's a bit of pop culture for a fucking 20-year-old.
But that music video is hilariously bad, honestly. The blind woman that falls in love with Lionel Richie and makes the worst looking sculpture of his face that looks makes the head from Art Attack look like an actual work of art.
This is an art. Maybe it was Neil Buchanan. Maybe he was, lurking in the background, tying this universe together. I feel like if anyone was the anchor being of Earth, it would be Neil Buchanan.
Now, I think we lost our anchor being several times over when all the good celebrities started dying.
Yeah, Alan Rickman, David Bowie. I watched that clip of Celebrity Big Brother where David Bowie's ex-wife had been told that he died, and she's like, "David's dead,"
and they thought it was
Tiffany Pollard who was David Guest. But did you know? So then David Guest was going to do a tour, the David's Not Dead tour, but then when he was preparing for it,
No way. Oh my
Yes.
word.
Yeah, that's But apparently they did the tour anyway, just without him. But it was still called the David's Not Dead tour. Brackets.
Huh.
He sort of is.
Yeah, he is. Oh,
Um. The powers manifestation. Weird. What? Weird. Fucking Johnny Storm has sex in a puddle aside. I like all that. The thing of here's their powers. Here's how they use them, and I like that they kind of all have to do the thing of let's use our powers to solve a problem. It's what the Incredibles. I know we take the piss out of it for being a rip-off of Fantastic Four, but use your powers to solve the problem kind of thing.
well, I did actually find out that a lot of the bits of the script involving powers were changed in this movie by Tim Story because they had been done by the Incredibles first.
So what bits?
It didn't specifically say, but it's like the Incredibles either did better versions or made fun of a lot of the things that we had planned. So Tim Story just changed it on the fly. He's like, well, the Incredibles just did this like a year ago, guys.
Yes. But Incredibles versus Fantastic Four. Disney Marvel Animation Rewind Rumble. That sounds like fun. Not watching that right now. I'm trying to think because I literally watched this movie and I fucking enjoyed it, and I've not really fucking spoken about it. Why do they melt Doctor Doom? Why is that a thing?
Well, that's what I mean. It's he's not really got superpowers
because he's electric. He was Electro. He was Electro.
Yeah,
he was like
it's because he had to be with them. He had to develop his own powers in the way that they get them, even though that's not part of his story. And
no, it's not part of the actual. It was the fusion reactor that made the Thing not CGI for a bit, and then Doom sort of supercharged himself off of that because again, that was the only thing that he could plug himself into. And he became like the human Electro Master Man, and then fire and electric, bam, defeat. That to me makes sense, but like Michael's saying, that's not Doom at all. It's Electro without doing a Spider-Man movie.
I like that it flat out names them because there's that thing in like these kind of superhero films where it's like, oh, we can't. They have to be named by the public or by the news, and this is just like Johnny Storm going, yeah, this is what we're called. After he sort of becomes Johnny Blaze for a scene and does the weird stuff. And
I thought that scene was earlier in the film. I thought that was after this is your power scene, after the mountain stuff. I didn't think it was that late in the movie that he then decided to go on a motorbike. I thought that was earlier.
What? You mean the scene where it's just an extended promo for Fox Sports with some of the worst product placement you've ever seen at the end of it?
Like the original Xbox.
Get a Burger King promo because it says Flame Grilled and he's the Human Torch. Die. Anyway.
Connor, what are your good things about this film?
The cast, I don't mind the actual story. The CGI don't bother me. Some of the scenes with Sue and Richards, well, I thought they were nice, but as we pointed out tonight, Sue was leading Reed on this whole time and clearly lied to his face about not them having her and Victor not having a relationship. Sue's perspective has kind of changed as I've gotten older. And as I watched it last night, we've kind of covered loosely what we've liked really and what we have. There's not really anything I outright dislike or gone, oh god, I'm glad they changed this for this later on. Because I can't even say that because I haven't even watched the later on movies yet. I'm doing it with the audience, guys. I haven't seen these movies forever. Well, no, I'm not purposely on doing it with the audience, but I genuinely haven't seen Rise of the Silver Surfer for a while, at least a long while. And then Fan Four Stick, like I pointed out last week, I don't remember it at all. So that movie's a blip.
Neither can I, by the way, and I have actually, like you, I've seen it, and I know I have. I can't remember a damn thing about it.
I went to the cinema. I remember being seated, and then that was it. I walked out of it and gone, moving on.
That film wiped itself from your brain to spare you.
Too much.
It was like
shame I can't say the same about the Haunted Island, but anyway.
It's like the movie equivalent of the Men in Black Neuralizer. It erases itself as you're watching it.
Are we? I mean, we got a sequel. Are we gutted we never got a third one of this? Because I like the vibe. I like how
Not
it's
after
just
the sequel, I'm not.
Well, so yeah, depending on next week's answer, future me, yeah, no. Of this initial movie, yes, I at this point, momentum's quite high. Why shouldn't there be any more? And then next week will be the answer as to why. We'll find that one.
I wish this had been more of a good movie on its own. Like you said, it feels a lot like it's like let's get the origin out the way and worry about doing good stuff later. Because all the stuff with Doom is crap, and then the final act, that last fight, is just atrocious. It's awful. Nothing happens. They fall out of 3 buildings, land in the middle of the street, each use their powers in a perfunctory way, and then freeze them with some water. And it's just, what was that? That was terrible. But yeah, you just get the sense that they're like, look, let's just get this out the way, and then we'll get to all the big villains and stuff in the sequel. And then Galactus was a fart cloud. So, you know.
I mean,
Anyway.
we do like sequels that we never got, but if we were to get another Rogue Gallery edition that wasn't Doctor Doom, albeit Doctor Doom was going to be involved in some way because they clearly couldn't move on from Victor Von Shitty Doom, who thought we would have got next after the cloud that was Galactus? Who do you think we would have got next?
Just a mole with a hat on.
Well, I know that we've got they've just released pictures of Giganta from the actual first issue of the comics in Fantastic Four First Steps, and he looks bang on comic book accurate. The weird demon thing. So, oh, cool, do that. But
Technically,
that's what I mean.
is in Fan 4 stick as well.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I'll Tim Nelson.
Oh, good lord. As if he hasn't ruined enough comic book villains.
Small man, Tim Blake Nelson,
the leader himself.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I can, but the thing is, I can see that though. Not that I want it, or we didn't get it, but I can. Now you've said that and put that into existence, I can kind of see it.
When you're talking though about the Fantastic Four Rogues Gallery that you could feature, almost all of these films have Alicia Masters in, and her dad is the puppet master, but none of them feature him.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah. It's like, why wouldn't you immediately do that? You've got yourself an in right away, and that gives you that character more to do as well. Like I said, you could always do Mole Man, do Giganta, but you have to acknowledge that you're kind of in a really weird comic booky kind of world. This film, I think, tries to have its cake and eat it in like, oh, it's a very real world situation, and we're very much in the current New York, and nothing bizarre happens until we get our powers, and then everything goes a bit weird. And it's like, no, you kind of have to acknowledge that you're living in a kind of cartoony, as you said, comic booky kind of world, and weird stuff just is around. It is what it is, which is why I think First Steps kind of gets it right as being like, it's on an alternate Earth where everything still looks like the 60s. It's retro futuristic, and probably weird monsters and shit just exist. Just accept it. All right.
Like when they asked Matt Reeves about would the Superman exist in your version of the Batman, he's like, yeah, but he would have to be the first alien thing like that existed in that universe. Like you'd have to you have to build on it. It can't just be like, you can't have a thing of like, oh, or aliens just suddenly exist in this super serious world, because you've already gone against it with the tone that you said.
Got a man made of fire, a woman that goes invisible, an orange rock monster. I think we've gone past the whole serious bit.
Yeah, which is why this lends itself to the fact that this would have to fight the weird alien, like monstery out of dimensional being
like
kind of thing.
But
that would have been.
That's my issue when it comes to the sequel, though, is that Fox were kind of like, okay, we exist in this world in which all of this weirdness happens, and people have accepted it and everything, but people would never accept Galactus in this world. We'll have to turn him into a cloud, because people would never accept this giant planet-eating purple, dude in a helmet kind of thing. That would be stretched too far. No, it wouldn't.
Purple weren't the fashion back then.
But we'll put his face in a slight shadow of one of the bits of the cloud, like a second.
That wasn't supposed to be there. That was the special effects team literally going like, well, we've got to do something, because this is a mess.
I don't want to rediscover it. I don't want to rediscover the cloud.
Mike, before we get into your sort of like notes and like your other stuff that you want to talk about, if you were in charge of a Fantastic Four movie, would you have Doom be the villain or Galactus, or would you go for something and then build towards one of those?
I think I can understand the logic of having Doom be, because he is so tied to the Fantastic Four. So I wouldn't necessarily be averse to it, but I don't know if See, what I would personally do, and this is just me, is have them, very quickly deal with the origin, or just have it be a bit like what it looks like First Steps is doing again, where it's like, we all know the story. They went to space. They've got powers now. We've all accepted it. It's now several years later or whatever. This is the world we live in. Move on. And then I would, you open the movie with them fighting the likes of, like I said, Giganta, Mole Man, these kind of larger than life types of characters, Puppet Master, anyone like that, Annihilus, whatever, you know what I mean? But just have them fight somebody for the first half of the movie, whilst in the background, you're dealing with like this mystery of, who is this character that's lurking in the background trying to test them, and then have Reed, in, I guess, narration or whatever, talk about, I used to know a guy, Victor Von Doom, and at college, and I thought he died because we were best friends, but then he mucked up, he was arrogant and blah, blah, blah. Then reveal that he is Dr. Doom at the end of the movie, give him a decent bit of, attacking them with Doom bots or something, and then be like, end it with the sequel teaser, and I'll be coming back for you and to conquer your country in force, Reed Richards, you win this one, but I'll be back. And then do Doom properly in the sequel, for the full, Latvian invasion situation. Then you end the sequel with the Silver Surfer turning up when they think, we've defeated Doom and his mass forces. We're never going to face a threat like that. And then the Silver Surfer turns up and goes, your planet is marked for destruction. Shit. Then the third movie, you just do the coming of Galactus story.
Sorry, go on.
No, sorry. And if we were to end, they defeat Doctor Doom, woohoo, the Silver Surfer comes to, the Fantastic Four or to Reed. I was just going to parody the Dormammu, I've come to bargain, but it just ends on the cliffhanger like, Reed Richards, I've come to bargain.
Yeah.
And then the big be like, what the fuck's the bargain?
What you don't do is don't end your movie the way that Eternals ends, with like a gigantic friggin' spacefaring thing appearing in the sky to everybody and going, you shall be judged, and then the movie isn't popular, so nobody can address that ever again. Everybody saw that thing.
That makes me sad.
It does.
Really are you concerned, either of you, with the fact that we're getting Galactus? I believe Mole Man's in it. I don't know who's playing him. John Malkovich is in it, seemingly as himself. And
I don't know who's playing who, but I know that Paul Walter Hauser and John Malkovich are in it, but they haven't revealed their characters. One of them could be the Puppet Master. One of them could be Mole Man, but they haven't said.
Walter Hauser, I thought he was the Mole Man. Like,
he's got Mole Man vibes for sure. No offense, Paul, if you're listening.
Yeah, sorry, Paul. No, don't be sorry. If he could do the Mole Man justice and actually bring that character to the screen, then good on him.
Stick some cheesy Krang from Ninja Turtles glasses on that guy, and he's got Mole Man all over.
He is the Mole Man. He is the Mole Man.
The Molinator.
Molinator, yeah. And then John Malkovich's older man character, the Red Ghost. Again, that's a proper minor comic book that appeared only a handful of times, but I saw that floating around, and I mean, I've only read one or two issues, but I don't know.
There was a rumor going around, and I'm sure it's probably not going to be the case, but it would be freaking amazing if it was, that Malkovich might be like the alternate universe Reed, because the way that they build up Secret Wars is like there's like one of them that's fully insane. It's like the big villain of the piece that he's trying to repair his universe by destroying others or something along those lines. I've not quite read those comics fully enough to know it, but like Reed as the master planner or something, and I was like, that could be interesting if they choose to do that. I don't think they will.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Who would you have cast as Doom instead of RDJ? Now that we're tied,
somebody who's actually a Romany for a start, to finally get that part right. I don't know many Romany actors, and I wouldn't like to guess at people's ethnicity and stuff like that. But yeah, cast a Romany actor, somebody who can actually do the part justice without whitewashing the dude again. Wow, that immediately took the air out of the room, didn't it?
No, sorry, I was searching, but then I was caught up, so I was kind of.
I was just deep in thought. Sorry, Mike. I weren't awkwardly silencing on purpose. No, I was just without trying to do, because I agree with your point massively. I was just trying to think of any I'm like you, Mike. I don't know any actors as such.
But if I was the casting director, I would make it my business to know. That's the point. I would go out and look specifically and find somebody. I'm not, so I don't know them. But that's not my job. You know what I mean?
So I googled Romani actors,
Mhm.
and Bob Hoskins has come up.
Well, I'm
for
afraid
God's
the ship has kind of sailed on that bit of casting, buddy. I don't know if we can quite achieve that just yet.
I mean, hey, they brought back bloody Peter Cushing.
Ugh, good lord.
You know,
Charlie
when I've
Chaplin.
Googled Sam Witwer, Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin.
Sam
Ezra
Witwer was that
Castro.
local thing. He could do anything.
Actors and singers of Romani heritage. I'm falling down a fucking rabbit
Actors
hole
of
here, lad.
Romani descent: Sasa Babu, Jan Cena, not John Cena, Jan Cena, Joaquin Cortez, Stefan
Fucking John Cena
Panicha.
as Doctor Doom.
You can't see
Glad
me,
Siri's
Reed.
behind this
Right
mess.
now.
Charlie Clapham, Jesus Castro.
Yep.
I don't know any of these guys, but they all look like they could. They've all got the look for it. I'll tell you that much. They all look intimidating as flip. So you're right. Charlie
think
Chaplin
they ever
apparently
would-
was of Romani descent. Huh, that Charlie Chaplin. Who knew?
Do you think they will ever actually
Elvis
do
Presley?
that?
Sorry.
Bob Hoskins.
Austin Butler.
So many of them have passed
Bob
away.
Hoskins was
Like,
born in Suffolk.
Yul Brynner would have been. Yeah, but you can still have Romani family descent somewhere along the way just because he was born in
Yeah.
Suffolk.
Um,
Yul Brynner would have been fantastic if he hadn't died in 1985. That'd been great casting.
Oh, one of his grandmothers was Romani.
There you go.
He had dyslexia. Why am I looking at Bob
Oh.
Hoskins?
We can't cast him.
Oh yeah, 11 years ago, lads. Fucking hell, what a shame.
Oh, hang on. Sebastian Stan apparently has Romani descent.
Oh my god,
Oh my god.
he would be great in comic book movies. Why is he not in them that much?
Yeah, damn.
Yeah,
We've only
Shame-
seen that
kind
Star
of a
Wars
shame
franchise.
kind of a shame we've wasted him. That one, really, isn't it? He would have been good as well.
So you
Oh.
obviously you only like half of this cast. So what are the problems with Reed? Because we know you have problems with Sue.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Well, I don't know if it's.
Is
I
it
don't know if I
because
was
he's a dick?
I don't know if I was subconsciously picking up on this, but I read somewhere that the script was changing so often that Ewan Griffith could not get a handle on it because he couldn't keep the American accent because he struggled with it and he didn't know what lines he was trying to say until the last possible moment. So to me, it comes off really stilted and nervous and kind of, which that might be why. Do you know what I mean? In which case, I can't blame him for that. That's not his fault.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
can
he just.
to sort of pick up on that. I can kind of see it in the performance. I got those vibes a little bit. I'd imagine if I was behind that camera, he does come across a bit awkward and sort of shy on, but not necessarily like unconfident. He's not like awkward high school nerd, but he is. There is that
He
timid,
doesn't,
like
he doesn't have the confidence of the comic book Reed Richards because the comic book Reed Richards is an arrogant. He's an arrogant bastard, but you can't really be mad at him about it because he really is that
Good
much
at
of a
his
genius that he gets
Yeah,
away
he was
with it.
that clever.
Like, he should come across kind of like the way that Matt Smith portrays the Doctor in Doctor Who. Like, okay, I'm an arrogant bastard, but only because I know I'm this good. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's a good analogy.
Has there been a Reed Richards that you've liked?
Miles
Not
Teller.
especially. No. I think,
Sorry,
like I
Mike.
said, I have to say the closest that they get is, even though I don't like the movie, is in Rise of the Silver Surfer from memory because they start to actually give him that level of confidence, and because it's it often is part of the comic book idea that's like you've got a family, Reed, but well, yeah, but I've got to solve every problem, so I'm gonna throw myself into my work and ignore you and the kids and whatever else, and has to learn that lesson. It's a common, it's not a unique idea, but at least it fits Reed Richards and it resembles that character a bit more than whatever the flip this dude is, which is just, he seems to spend the entire movie going, oh, I'm mugged up. I'm so very sorry. Oh, if only I could fix it and wasn't so dumb. Oh, no, come on, man.
That sounded a bit Tommy Wiseau. You know,
Again.
so I've been
Oh, hi, Ben. I'm so sorry. I turned you into bricks, man. What was Christopher Walken doing in there? Sorry.
Oh hi, John. I didn't know it was you. Oh, here's the bye.
Little
He
doggy
would be a
covering your
great
face with your paw. Yes. Oh, hi, Reed. Welcome to Latveria. Take on my
Yeah.
Donbass.
That's probably where Tommy Wiseau thinks he's from, Latveria.
Probably.
I'm from New Orleans, known as Latveria.
Anyway,
Michael, your good points about this film, your notes, your
I have a few.
professional notes.
I think I read that Stan Lee has said that Michael Chiklis' Thing is his favorite performance in any Marvel film in his lifetime, and I'm close to agreeing with him. I think it's near perfect casting, and I like I said, the fact that they get the emotional core of that character so perfectly. And it is heartbreaking when you see him rejected, and it's because of the way that he is. And I don't know, there's something about the way Chiklis plays him that you never really question it, and you never think it's ridiculous, but you feel sad for the guy,
Yeah.
and yet you kind of feel. That's another one of my bugbears, is that you never see him make that decision, which is so important at the end of like, oh, I can't stop you like this, so I'll go back into the machine and voluntarily become the Thing. And they save it as a big, like, the Thing busts in, surprise. And I'm like, no, show me this. It's such an important moment for the character, and it happened off screen so that you could do the surprise reveal. Like, no, that's dumb. But anyway, but no, I think
offense
he was
to
great.
Stan Lee, but doesn't he say that about a lot of people's performances, that they're his favorite Marvel performance, or did?
I've never heard him say that about. I've never really heard him say that about anyone else, but I can see like
I've heard it about RDJ, Charlie Cox,
No.
and
Well, maybe they
someone
were
else.
after this movie, but no, I mean the Thing and the Fantastic Four are Stan's absolute baby. They were the first thing, you know, they're Marvel's first family, as they call them, for a reason. They were the first thing he came up with before X-Men, Avengers, anything else. It was the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So I think he's kind of invested in that. But yeah, I love that he becomes like that realization of like at the end, oh, it's okay, Egghead, I'm good as is, and Alicia loves me for who I am, and yeah, you come close to being the ever-loving blue-eyed Thing, as they call him, of the comics. The kind of, and again, they seem to have that at least right in First Steps, where he's not feared or hated for the way he is. You got the kids that are like, lift the car, yay, woo, yeah, look at this, woo.
Make some
That's
soup.
kind of that's who the Thing is, not just like, oh, stay away from the terrifying brick man. Like, oh, come on, he's not going to hurt you. So, yeah, but yeah. And speaking of Stan Lee, I do kind of love that they gave him the cameo of him being Willie Lumpkin, an actual character from the comics, for the cameo in this movie.
Isn't
The
that like
mailman
the
of
only
Baxter
time he
comics.
actually plays a character?
Himself.
Depends who you consider him to be as the kind of Watcher informant from the MCU when they revealed that in Guardians 2. So maybe he's like one of the Watchers from the comics, but I doubt it. So yeah, it's probably the first time he's a named, like, known character. Although in Silver Surfer he plays himself, as a nod to the comic
In a
where that
scene
happens.
straight out of one of the comics, isn't it? Where him and Jack
It's
get
from
turned
the-
away from
yeah.
the wedding.
Fantastic Four Annual, the wedding of Sue and Richards, that actually happens. Yeah, Stanley and Jack Kirby turn up and get turned away from the wedding because comics. Yeah, so no, I like that he's Willie Lumpkin. I like it even more because he wasn't supposed to see anything and he insisted. So yeah, the whole line about "Welcome back to the Baxter, good to see you again, Dr. Witch," not supposed to be in the film. He just wouldn't stop saying it, so they had to give him the kind of SAG membership and residual checks and whatever else you get for talking in a movie. Like, yeah, you go, Stan. But that's not really about the movie. No, I think, like you said, it nails the kind of family dynamic aspect and the more fun, you know, in a world where we were dangerously close to everything becoming Chris Nolan because that was popular. At least this doesn't go the grimdark route, which I think is partly what screwed over, if I remember, the Josh Trank Fantastic, which tries to do, no, let's do it super dark and serious, which that's not going to work for a group like the Fantastic Four. You know,
No.
silly concepts they just kind of roll with, and they're not afraid to do some of it. Like the idea of the suits, they were in the explosion with us, so they are now unstable molecules. They will set on fire when you do. They'll stretch with you. They'll turn invisible with me. Cool. That's all I need. Just one line of random comic book BS, and I'm fine. Yeah, it's crap. It doesn't make any real world sense, but screw it. It's comic book movie logic. I can roll with it. You know, but. I'm slightly less impressed that they have these costumes made for the mission, and yet Sue's costume seems to be the only one that exists purely to show as much cleavage as possible. Jesus, woman, zip your fucking top up.
Release the
Again,
cleavage cut.
that's just her being like, oh, Reed, you remember breaking up with me?
That's the point of the
Oh.
scene, isn't it? Because like when he goes, "Wow, beautiful," and then he's like talking about the bloody fabric, and then she like gives up, and then I assume
And she's
like goes around the corner and then zips it up to her fucking neck. After she's
or zips it down even further, and she's like, Reed,
she keeps going. until
don't
she's
worry
just
about my
naked.
eyes
She's
being up here. Look, these are fantastic tits, man. Come on.
like, fantastic tits.
So,
I
yeah,
have half of
there's-
them right here.
what was I going to say? There's bits that there's things, little things that I really like the concept that Reed knows what flowers Sue likes because he knows her better. Subtle bits of writing like that are really cool. You know, I like the soundtrack for what it's worth. It's very 2005, but I like that era of very soft rock. I think.
Yeah, soft rock. Yes, soft rock is the word. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose college rock, some people might call it. I would just go like very soft, popular rock music. But yeah, but I like all the power stuff. Like you said, I think the origin story's done pretty much as well as you can. If it hadn't been for the fact that Victor doesn't need to be there as an updated version of the origin, it's fine. The powers reveal looks fine. The effects of it are pretty good, especially for like 20 years ago. You know, they all do their thing with their powers.
Yeah.
It's cool enough. And some of the jokes that do work, like again, Johnny turning to Ben when he's transformed and going, "Where are your ears?" Like comic book readers have been asking that joke for like fucking 80 years or something. You know?
I think it just a cool scene. I just stood out anyway. That I always go to remember is when Ben looks at himself in the mirror. Johnny is hyping him up and the audience to think that he's already turned into the thing. And
Look, there's nothing they could do, man. The plastic surgeons did the best, and it's a big fake out. Oh, there's a subtle thing. I made a note of it, and I have to mention it because it's so subtle, but I just think it's so cool when Johnny has the Jiffy Pop, and he's popping it just himself with his own heat. He's just carrying it on his hand as if it's like the oven hob. Like, oh, that is
I love
genius.
that. That's a great touch. There are some
That's
great
such a
touches
Johnny
in
Storm thing to do. Yeah, there's some good. I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff too. But I like the arc of Johnny learning to fly. Like he doesn't know how to do it straight away, and it's not because they just can't afford it and he'll have to become a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. It's that, the powers are gradually going more and more, and I'm sure I can convince myself eventually it'll be enough to fly. And then the end of the movie, the one thing they do get right is that Johnny, you're now going to have to fly or you're going to get hit with a missile. But, all right, well, motivation's here. I'll never think about it. I'll just jump off this building and hopefully I'll fly. So, yeah, that worked for me. Again, it's very Johnny Storm. He's reckless, he's stupid, but he gets away with it. So,
he's probably my favorite version of Johnny Storm.
Well, absolutely, it's my favorite version of Johnny and of Ben. Like I said, in these movies, they get it. The prank with the shaving cream that Johnny does on Ben, again, I can imagine that being straight out of the pages of the comics. That's exactly the kind of shit that they get up to. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I like that he tries tickling him with the duster before realizing he has to use the stick end because he's made of fucking rocks.
Yeah, and I mean it's kind of cruel the various jokes that they make about that, but like the idea is that he's trying to eat the fruit and he just bites through the fork. You know, it's just like you kind of have to have a little snicker of like, oh. But when they want it to be serious, it can be like when he just wrecks the bar stool and he's like, "That's not funny." And I say, "Oh, bless you." Yeah. You know, it's but then he gets in on it as well. That great line about like all his internal organs appear to be made out of rock. How bad is it? You know, I used to smoke. That's that kind of joke I'm kind of here for, you know. People hate them in the MCU nowadays, but I'm like, nah, that's funny. Just have a bit of levity every now and then. And but when they want to get serious, they can. So like, I love the scene with Jessica Alba where she's talking about their powers and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, it's difficult for me too." And he's like, "Oh, Sue, you've got no idea what I'd give to be invisible." So, oh, it never even occurred to me to look at it that way.
I think he's the only one really humanized.
Yeah. What else? I like the kind of gross body horror idea that Reed goes into the machine and just it accelerates his power so much that he just melts. Yeah, they could really have done more with that, and it could have been cool. But you know, I get you didn't really have the room for it in the movie, but it would have been cool to do. So it works for me anyway.
Literally a face of night.
Yeah, I don't like that. Freaking again, some cheesy stuff works and some doesn't. So I don't like that the Thing's catchphrase comes from just Johnny Storm's action figure prototype. Like, no, that's
It's
stupid.
quite time. Yeah, really out of pitch, really high squealing. Yeah.
And there's
I
some
do like
awful,
that he
awful
breaks the
dialogue.
prototype though.
Oh yeah, he just completely wrecks
He had
it.
to break it. He had to break it.
Yeah, I'll take the stairs. Oh, poor guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots to like. Like I say, I have my problems with it, and they're big problems, which I've kind of went into already. But there's things it does right, and I said it is probably the best we've had so far, at least for a while. It looked like the best we'd ever get, but, outside of cartoons, anyway.
And for all we know, it's still, well, I say it is. Well, okay, you just said it is, but it still might be for some people. No, I don't know. He can't comment. First steps will be great. It will be great.
Is
It's
there
so
anything
hopeful.
from this that you hope that either of you hope that they take into First Steps? Like it could be like a story element, like character development, like anything.
Just the family dynamic. Like I said, even though I do think that kind of Reed and Sue are miscast, when the four of them are together, the family dynamic seems to be there. And it's a cliche and people say it all the time, but I genuinely do feel it with this group together. And yeah, just nail that part. They're a family, even though they're not technically all related in that way. You have to look at them like that.
Yeah.
But
The
from the
bickering.
trailers that we've seen in First Steps, though, it does feel like that is the vibe I get, that they are they're a family one way or another, not necessarily biologically, but they're a found family, as they call it, and yeah, it kind of works.
Yeah. Yeah, the family vibe, which I think is the intention anyway. It just, I don't know, what do I hope they take from this into the new one? Just some of the jokes, but that aren't MCU-ified. I mean, that's again subjective because we've pointed out like jokes that actually made us chuckle, but like just MCU jokes to be slightly cleverer. But I know that's different to each audience member. But I don't know, better jokes. Better jokes.
Yeah.
That's a hard one. Better jokes. A different villain.
Yeah.
I know we're getting more man Gigantico. Yeah, like yeah. A film without Doctor Doom, even in the post credits.
But
no.
Again,
Dr. Doom.
if you're talking about good things, one thing they could take from this movie is you don't necessarily need to have a villain to showcase their powers. Let them do a rescue like they do on the bridge in this movie. And, that's how they become heroic to people. It's not about, beating the crap out of a monster or whatever. It's literally, okay, this situation has escalated and now we each have to use our individual abilities. But, better in some ways, because let's not just have Sue stripped down for no reason. But otherwise, it kind of works. And again, as you said, like some of that humor works, like when they don't know what to do with the thing and he can't get the guy out of the truck, so he just lifts the entire thing out. And the cops are just like, can you put down the guy in the chair? All right.
Sorry. Yeah, I think this is a good foundation for something that is built upon in a lot of ways in the sequel and ruined by a big CGI storm cloud.
Oh, there's more than that ruins the sequel, but I'll get into it when we talk about it.
Oh, I can't wait for your opinion on this one. Overall, Connor, I'll let you go first. Your overall thoughts, feelings, and what you would rate this cinematic masterpiece of 20 years ago.
Compared to last week's no, I can't bash last week. I can't undo last week. That's now part of my soul forever and ever. That is truly the room of superhero movies.
Still the best version of Doctor Doom we've ever had up to now. I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, great. It very much was a childhood movie. I didn't know if age and experience would change my perception of this, but I honestly watched this quite late. Well, this morning, 3 mornings ago by the time this comes out, and I just felt like I was a kid again. It genuinely put me back in 2005. And yeah, there wasn't any new bits of information I didn't miss first time around. Again, the jokes and stuff I get anyway because I'm older, a bit better than I did originally. There's just a lot more that shines brightly in this than I was expecting more silly cliche stuff to stick out and maybe dampen the experience. But no, Johnny's fire kept this thing lit, and it was still warm and heartfelt. And again, the start of something quite promising. Again, obviously, the plans that they were originally going to have with the X-Men and like the then Fox universe didn't obviously pan out, and perhaps that was meant to be for the best. That would have been a very different world, and the whole superhero genre would have been very different if a certain cinematic universe didn't happen, or at least didn't happen like the way it did. And we could have maybe have had a couple more of these movies until the CGI cloud ruins it in the next one. But that's next week. Start of something cool. I wouldn't outright call it fantastic because again, it's very much as it's aged quite well in some areas, but it's aged kind of poorly and kind of just very much 2005 in some other areas. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed this just as much as I thought it was going to do. Like, I've got fond memories of the video game again because this was quite when the movie tie-in games were quite prominent, and I remember playing a lot of this PS2 game. Not so much the Silver Surfer one, but again, that's a conversation for next week. So yeah, when I think of this and when I think of this particular movie, it's happy times, good stuff, and it's just fine. It's the fine for.
It's
Why
just
everyone?
fine.
It's just the fine for. Why it gets dampened, we'll find out and fully cover next week because I'm sure it's more than just the cloud, as Mike alluded to. I don't outright remember Silver Surfer, but like it can't just be because of the cloud. There's got to be something else wrong with it.
Well, neither of you can possibly hate the storyboard flashback fucking abs.
Yes.
Lawrence Fishburne's voice on a plastic man's body.
It's not a plastic man. It's Doug Jones. Show some respect.
No, I know it's Doug Jones, but they've made him look like a plastic man. He looks like a mannequin. He looks like someone that would have been rejected from an Auton episode.
I'm of that era that I'm kind of like, I don't get why we were scared to let Doug Jones just voice the characters he was playing. Because you would see him in the first Hellboy and then like have David Hyde Pierce do it. But then by the second one, it's like, just let Doug Jones do it. He's already played the character.
And then we'll tease Abe Sapien, and he would have probably been played by Doug Jones in that fucking terrible Hellboy movie.
I did like the most recent one, which I have got on 4K over here.
Is that any good?
Yeah, it's good if you kind of like those issues of the comics that are not like huge mythology stuff and they just feel like an old English folk tale that happened somewhere in the 50s in an old creepy village somewhere. It nails that vibe if that's what you're after, which I'm cool with after all of the attempts to do the like, let's shove all the comic lore together into this. And no,
there's another Hellboy movie since 2019.
Yes, it's called The Crooked Man, based on the story of the comics of the same name. And written by the same person that writes the comics as well, Mike Mignola.
Oh. No, I
do recommend watching it if you like a little kind of tame comic booky horror. Like I said, it's not connected to the larger universe because it's set like in the past anyway. It's like set in the 50s. And I said it's kind of old English village folk horror, witches, demon type stuff. And a dude that looks like a red demon at the center of it. And the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's butler is a blind priest who's trying to keep them back from the church, all of the evil forces, being a badass.
Oh, and Jack Kessy's fucking Hellboy, isn't he? Third act.
He is, yeah. He's surprisingly good. London. I didn't expect him to be as good as he is, actually, because I thought, like, this guy's just... He doesn't have what it takes. He doesn't have the build or whatever. He nails it. He gets it right. Yeah.
Hellboy, I don't think has been cast badly.
No,
there's parts in as shit as that film is. I think like there's some great David Harbour lines in the 2019 one. Like this wouldn't work because I'm a Capricorn and you're fucking nuts.
Yeah, Harbour's casting was not the problem with that movie. To be fair, no.
God, it was terrible though, wasn't it?
It just tried to shove too much in. It was trying to shove like 3 volumes of the graphic novels into one thing to like rip through the lore as fast as you could, and it's just like, no, do a movie.
Do a movie. Yes, Michael, your thought and roundup. Go for it, love.
Okay. Again, sorry, I tend to write pretentious conclusions as if I'm writing for a film magazine.
Seriously, and I appreciate it.
Well,
In
let's
other
not get
words,
carried away.
the only thing you forgot to say, George, your writing, as always, is pretty fantastic. And that's not just a pun. It's always fantastic.
So yeah, if it sounds rehearsed, it's because it's written down. It's not off the top of my dome. But well, it is. I write it. It's all my thoughts, but I can't think that quickly. The autism just stops me. But anyway, I just said, well, this is as good as it gets. Sigh. It's not even a bad movie, really. It's just that it doesn't do justice to Marvel's first family and their fantastical adventures, no pun intended. It's all a bit too po-faced, a bit bland, a bit basic. Sure, it's competent enough. There are some good emotional beats, solid effects that have aged surprisingly well, and at least a couple of performances that truly nail the characters. But is that enough? When it's up against woeful miscasting, a heinous character assassination, dialogue that sometimes makes the 94 version look like Shakespeare, and a final act that's damper than the villain who ends up drenched in water, I'm not so sure. So, yeah, let's start with the good. The characterization of Ben and of Johnny really works. Great casting, solid performances, and a dynamic that feels like it leapt off the page. The group's powers are portrayed well, and there's a genuine sense of family among the four that captures some of the comic's core tone. And the not so good, let's address the elephant in the Latverian assembly. The Latverian embassy. The character of this movie dares to call Dr. Doom. Ah, Doom, a menacing aristocrat, a master of science and sorcery, a man with a god complex and a mask to match. You know what he's not? A pretty boy, possibly American billionaire CEO whose main concern is his stock portfolio and whose villain arc feels like it was stolen wholesale from Willem Dafoe in Spider-Man. I had in the weird romantic subplot with Sue, lifted straight from comic book Namor, and you've got someone who's anyone but Victor Von Doom. Anyway, elsewhere, Jessica Alba manages at least one strong scene, and Ewan Griffith is clearly giving it his all, but both feel miscast. And don't even get me started on casting someone as great as Kerry Washington as Alicia Masters and giving her what amounts to a glorified cameo. In the end, this feels like a paint-by-numbers superhero script with none of the boldness, wonder, or imagination that defines the Fantastic Four as I know them at their best. It's passable, occasionally heartfelt, and has just enough of the FF essence to work as an introduction, but fantastic, I'm afraid not. The Fine Four just doesn't have the same ring to it. Flawed, frustrating, but just heartfelt and faithful enough in places to squeak a pass. 3 out of 5 for me.
I mean, that's not bad.
No, that's what I said at the start. Like, it's not that it's a bad movie. It just doesn't do justice to the Fantastic Four that I know and love, you know?
It's
And
above
consider
average.
it again, it'd been like over 40 years, 30, 40 years worth of writing that they could have plucked from, so much had been done before this movie. So, yeah.
But there you go. That's the Fantastic Four again. What does everyone think of this in the comments, in the
We
audience?
didn't get your conclusions and score, or Connor's score, by the way.
Oh, Connor's score.
Yeah.
Connor, do your score,
You
and then I'll
score
say my
your-
thing.
I
I kind of said my thing, but I'll say it again.
Number. I would
4.
say I'm gonna 4. No, I'll go a 3 as well. 3 out of 5. Maybe a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a
maybe.
3.5. Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, is most of my opinion nostalgia? Possibly. Does that bother me? Not at all. But
No, that's
I
fine.
really like this era of films, even though I don't think anyone really appreciated these kind of superhero films at the time. Like, it's just simpler times. They kind of exist on their own, and I know they wanted them all to mesh together in some way, but thank God they didn't. Disastrous plastic Hugh Jackman aside. I don't think it's well cast. I think it's better cast than the last one.
It's not really difficult.
And I think, ironically, like, apart from Johnny and Ben, I think then the other two go on to then become better actors in other things. So maybe that's my nostalgia for, like, I've enjoyed Owen Griffith in stuff after this. So I'm like, oh yeah, he was a great Reed Richards. When in reality, like you said, Michael, a lot of the good Reed Richards stuff comes when they actually write him like Reed Richards in the sequel after they've done all their weird tone shifts and script changes. So maybe it's a glorified rose-tinted version I'm remembering, but it's one that brings me joy. And so far, it's the only version of Fantastic Four that I've outrightly enjoyed for the right reasons, because 1994 was enjoyed for very much the wrong reasons. But,
It was enjoyed for some reason. I'm still trying to figure out what it was.
I
It's the
think it was
perfect movie to get drunk and laugh at, put it that way.
Yeah.
One day we will sit through and do all 5 Fantastic Four movies back to back and play the Fantastic Four drinking game.
The Fantastic
We'll
Four
be
one.
dead.
As long as one of us survives to turn off the recording, that's all that
We're not
matters.
going to be in a steam room. It can't be that hot, surely. Or we're just going to be that cold inside. As we,
Oh. But we get to at least revisit this version of Fantastic Four one more time next week when we will do Fantastic
Yeah.
Four Rise of Absman.
I want to
And
say,
the Scout.
I don't know if it's like nay. I don't know what to do. We'll find out next week.
Well,
Isn't
this was
it a
the only
shame
one so far that got a sequel, so it says something, I suppose, about this being the best, I guess. So,
Yay!
I'm glad Fantastic didn't get a sequel because imagine
Oh,
having to
God, yeah.
rewatch that now.
Ugh. Yeah, sorry. Something's come up,
Yeah.
guys. I'm just going to go straight to first steps.
But yeah, I'm looking for. We've got at least one more venture into this, and it's a bit like they've settled into the role. It's a bit more. I feel like we might, negatives aside, Mike. I feel like we might get a bit more character-wise out of the next film. So we'll be back for that.
We'll see.
We'll be back the week after that for fucking Fantastic. So strap yourselves in, guys, because that's going to be a long one.
Oh boy, I've already moved my seatbelt.
And then
Jesus.
I believe the week after that at some point, because the release of these very much depends on when my child will enter this realm of existence. Not Franklin Richards; it's a completely different child. Then
That
You're going to be a great dad. I'm kidding. You're going to be so out of your depth. It's a good job you've got.
isn't it bad that I find that so relatable? And Connor and Michael will be reviewing Fantastic Four: The First Steps without me because I'm genuinely probably not going to be able to leave my house for the 5 weeks that I'm off. So that's going to be fun. But other than that, Michael, where can the good people of the internet find you?
Well, you really are the most devious bastard in all of the internet. But, I just had to match your Matt Berry with my own feeble attempt. As I mentioned earlier, you can find me on the Silver Screen podcast, wherever you find podcasts, or on various social media sites under the same name, or our YouTube channel is the best place. As I said, our most recent episodes, among other things, include... I'm on most of them, actually. A cult classics review with me, DK, and various guests, I can't remember, reviewing Enter the Dragon, the Bruce Lee movie. Me, DK, and our friend Sandy reviewing Superman, the movie 78 on Cinema Classics. Our review of Jurassic Park should be up now. That was me, DK, and our friend Vianne and her friend Thomas. Reviewed that one. Our review of Aliens is still there. That's been doing really quite well. We reviewed the 1990 special edition of that. So if you're into movies, that's a good place to go. And we're now deep in the next series of Hit or Miss Star Trek over on Hit or Miss Who Trek, where we review Doctor Who and Star Trek. We're looking at episodes to do with Cardassians and Bajorans. So if you're interested in any of that and you're a bit of a sci-fi geek, maybe head over there as well. Again, Hit or Miss Who Trek is the channel. Look for it on social media or anywhere you get podcasts, or the best bet is the YouTube channel, because I do a lot of visual editing, so I kind of appreciate people watching the videos if you don't mind. So, yeah.
And Connor, do the bit that you normally do.
Do the bit. The bit is here. Yeah, guys. So you found us on YouTube. We're also across all across the social media platforms that you use better than all of us combined. Instagram, Twitter, not Twitter, Blue Sky, the Twitter equivalent, which is better. TikTok, Instagram. Insert link here. I can't think of names. Send us your fantastic movie reviews and your ranking of the Fantastic Four thus far at nerdbiblecontact@gmail.com. And keep riding the journey with us as we slowly make our way to make our first steps up to the greatest Fantastic Four movie yet to be seen. Maybe, hopefully.
The animated series.
The First Steps animated. Yeah.
Let's end with. Where's the weird going in? Reed
The thing
Richards?
clip. That's what I just.
Oh, you're trying. Are you looking for Melty Reed
Oh,
Richards?
yeah.
Oh, that's the scene
Yeah.
where he wraps himself around the thing is so good.
It is. I love this.
Just this.
Gorgeous. Great.
Just this whole
Amazing.
thing.
Calm
Can
down,
I just
Greg.
change my score? This is a 5 out of 5 movie. Look at it.
There it is.
Gorgeous. The
Now,
deadliest in all of wrestling.
Now, what we should do is you should put fucking like Mike's
Fantastic
face,
film.
and then this is him making Connor watch these films.
Yes. That's me and Connor as I tried to make him watch Fantastic Four 1994. Connor,
Yeah.
no, look, you cannot look away.
Get off me, Mike!
You will watch the jeweler do some overacting.
Oh, again, it's George. It's George making me watch Horns of the Nymon again.
Why are we acting like that story's bad? Why can't you just admit it's the best Doctor Who we're gonna get for the next like 50 years?
No.
Until Russell T Davies brings back the Nimon as a giant CGI bull.
No, that's when I
No,
that's when
they can
I
make them
get a
human.
personal vendetta against that bastard. That's when I join the revolution. Like you can fuck about with like companions' mums pointing at a sign all you want and then belittling your companion to be a single mum. That's fine. But if you fuck around with a Nimon, then Russell, we're gonna have some words.
We're gonna have
Leave
a
my
big old-
horned beasts alone.
Oh, I can't.
But until then, that's a problem for the future, which isn't going to be anytime soon. Goodbye, my dears.
Play him on.
It's clobbering